All right, welcome to episode 9. Today we're going to cover Python lists. And if I ever call these arrays, just know that it's because I come from JavaScript as my primary language, and it's the way that arrays are written. So a list in Python, as we've seen several times, are just with these square brackets. And then you can have values in here separated by a comma, so we're using strings, but you could use integers, floats, whatever, inside of this list. And so we're going to just cover different things you can do with a list. So what are lists used for? They're used to store multiple items in a single variable. So you have just this variable x, and inside of x you have all of these items. Lists are one of 4 built-in data types for Python, which can do this. So the other 3 are tuple, set, and dictionary, which all have different qualities and usage. As I said, these are created with the square brackets, and then we can come down here to our console, and we can, oh, I need to just type that here, getting ahead of myself. So we can do that, and we can just run 9.py here, and you see it prints off the list, and again, we can access each element in this list. This would be 0, 1, and 2. Again, they start at 0, and this is called their index. And this is the element that we're accessing with the index. So we do that again, and we just get 1. And you notice that it doesn't put the square brackets, it doesn't put the quotes, it just returns what's inside of index 1. So just a quick refresher there. List items are ordered. So they're in order, as you see, 0, 1, and 2. They're not just random. And they are changeable, and you can have duplicate values in a list. So we could have 3 in here twice, something like that, and then you see that we can get it here with 3, save, and we're not getting any errors. This list is okay, it allows it. When we say that they're ordered, it just means that they're defined, so this order won't change in the list. If you need to add new items to a list, the new items will be placed at the end of the list. So there are some list methods that can change the order, but just generally just know that it's not going to change. The list is changeable, so we are able to add, remove items, and change the list after it's already been created, which is nice. Since they're indexed, they're able to have the same value, which we've already demonstrated, the 3 and 3. So some of the things we can do with the list. We have already printed the list with just print x. Another thing that we can do is the method, if you remember, it's kind of like half of the word length, lin, so, or lane, however you want to pronounce it. We can do that, and I'm just going to keep both things. So we see that it has a length of 4 because there's 4 elements inside of this list, even though remember 0 and 3 are the indexes, the range. So you can do like different types of data, like I was saying. So we could have x be one thing, and then we can do a list where it's just integers, and then we could do a list where it's even Boolean values. So we could do true, and remember to capitalize those. Hopefully VS Code changes colors for you when you type out Boolean values. And so we could print XYZ here, and then we get everything printed in a row, as you see. So kind of sloppy just due to my screen size, but that's what we get. So they can a list even could contain different data types in the same list. So we could have like a 1 true, 2, not in quotes. That's just a string, by the way, if you put a Boolean in quotes like that. So don't do that. And then you see it's not having any errors. It's still fine doing that. So from Python's perspective, lists are just objects, and the data type on them is list. So if we type like type here of a, and we pass a in as the argument to type, and we print that out, you see class is list. right? Now if we type like A0 and access something inside, remember it's a string, and we're using this A1. I'll just space it out so that it's easy to read. So we have a string as our first value, and you see we have an integer as our second value, and we have a Boolean as our third value. So individual elements also have their own types. The overall type of A is list in Python. One other possibility when creating a list is that you can actually use a constructor. So you could have something like example list equals, and the list constructor is just like any other function. So you would have this, and then inside of it though, you want to use parentheses, not square brackets, and then you would enter whatever you want to put in your list here. And then you could print example list and comment that out, save, and you see that it created this list with 1 and 2 inside of it. So that is another thing that we can do with lists.